everyone, back to my YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. Something I saw just popped up really on social media that caught my eye. Apparently, UEFA are ready to offer Al-Nassr, the Saudi Arabian Pro League team, an invitation to play in next season's Champions League, apparently, all mainly because Cristiano Ronaldo has gone there. They've cited it as apparently one of the best, like the third most popular club in the world. So UEFA are going to break from the normal tradition of having teams that have basically been playing in European competitions and invite the Saudi Arabian team into the league. I just want to jump on and give my thoughts about this. Do me a favor. I think that's the biggest pile of shit I've ever heard in my entire life. The Saudi Arabian league is a very, very poor standard. It's littered with players whose better days are behind them, including Cristiano Ronaldo. Listen, he still gets goals. He scored a lot of goals since he's gone there. There's no doubt about that at all. 38 years old, and he's still banging in loads of goals, but he scored 140 goals in the Champions League. That doesn't give him a divine right to have his team invited into the competition. I really don't understand this whatsoever. I don't understand why UEFA would invite a Saudi Arabian team into the UEFA Champions League. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. You've got South American teams like Boca Juniors and River Plate and all these other teams who are huge football clubs around the world, and they play in their own, separate kind of, champions competitions in the South American divisions and all that kind of stuff. So why would you open this up to the Saudi Arabian League? The only one reason you would do this: money. That's the only reason that UEFA would do this. UEFA and FIFA corrupt constitutions, the two of them. Money talks and bullshit walks for these organizations, and I really don't understand why they would do this at all. I think it would lower the standard of the competition. And you've got to remember as well, if they bring in Al-Nassr, somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to get out of that competition. So potentially one of the Spanish teams or one of the French teams, even one of the English teams may lose that league position. So it might not be a top four anymore that finishes in the Champions League. It might be a top three that finishes the Champions League in the Premiership. So the likes of Newcastle getting in this season wouldn't get in at all in place of Cristiano Ronaldo's Al-Nassr. And I just don't think it's fair. I really don't. The Saudi Arabian Pro League really has done fuck all in its kind of, its current guise. It's because they've decided to throw money at the thing and go and get some of the best players who maybe were best players in the world at one particular time or another. And they decided to go and get them. Yes, there's been a few of them that have gone there chasing the pot of gold, the likes of Milinkovic-Savic. And who was the boy, Vega, who Newcastle were linked to as well, who ran there for a pot of gold as well. I think Tony Cruz probably said it best as well, that players are going there for a sack of money, and he wasn't interested in doing it. But if UEFA do this, and if UEFA invite Al-Nassr into the Champions League, I just think it makes a mockery of the competition. It really does. And I feel sorry for those other teams in La Liga, in the Premiership, in Ligue 1, even in the SPL as well, or the SPFL as it is now. These teams who rely on the Champions League finances to help pay their way. You've got FFP on one hand, limiting clubs doing what they can do, like us, regardless of how rich the owners are. And then now you're going to potentially kick them out of the Champions League in place for a Saudi Arabian team. And it won't stop at one. Though, Al Hilal probably want to come in as well. So they might have two Saudi Arabian teams to qualify for those competitions. And then what will happen then is that if they qualify as first or second in the league, they'll go and buy more players. Throw loads of money at them, and then again, everyone will hate the Saudi Arabian League. And what happens? They don't take it out in the Saudi Arabian League; they take it out on the likes of Newcastle United. Certainly in the Premiership, you got the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea who got rid of a lot of their deadwood in the Saudi Arabian League, but they're going to vote against Newcastle United to do any deals with Saudi because that's who our owners are, and to loan any players from Saudi as well. But they're happy to take the other slice of the pie, get rid of that shit overrated mid-30 players on big salaries and balance their FFP, but then they stitch Newcastle United up. Now, I appreciate that our owners own these football clubs, and it might sound like I'm going against the grain here. I'm happy for PIF to be our owners, but I don't want the Saudi Arabian team in the Champions League. Let me get this straight. I don't think the Saudi Arabian standard of that league is deserving of Champions League football. I don't think it's good enough. I think I saw Cristiano Ronaldo play against, was it one of the Portuguese teams, and they got absolutely humped. Was it Benfica? They got absolutely battered, because him and Mane's legs are gone. Their better days are behind them. If you put the two in the Premiership now, they'd have the odd moment here or there, but generally they get run over. Even likes of Bournemouth and Brighton would probably run past them because their legs are gone. So forget, the glitz and the glamour of the name and what they've done in the previous stages of their career, which is exemplary. Their CVs read really well. They're not good enough to hang in that competition. You imagine Erling Haaland playing against one of these teams, he'd absolutely batter them. So it's going to go one or two ways. They're either going to get absolutely mullered in the Champions League and make a mockery of the whole thing, then end up in what they're going to do, they're going to put them in the Europa after that if they don't get far in the Champions League. So then somebody else misses out on a Europa place. This whole thing just reeks to me. It really, really does. Off the back of the World Cup going to Saudi Arabia, which everybody knows is all about money. It's nothing to do with anything else but money. That's FIFA all over. Corrupt as fuck. They can't lie in bed straight. If UEFA do this as well, to me, I think it makes a mockery of the Champions League. It really, really does. And someone's going to suffer. Probably Premiership teams. It won't be the top four. It'll be the top three again. And I'm not having it. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. That's just my take on it. I think it's utter bullshit. I don't think the Saudi Arabian team should be anywhere near the Champions League. They'll have their own competition that they can set up and do all that stuff with them and Qatar and everybody else. They can create their own little Champions League, whatever they're doing. They shouldn't be invited into the European Champions League, in my opinion. You're just changing the goalposts to allow for mass wealth to come in and certain players like Ronaldo, who just wants to play in the Champions League. Again, if you want to play in the Champions League, Ronaldo, you shouldn't have went and signed for Al-Nassr. You should have stayed in Europe, mate. End of subject. So let us know what you guys think about that. We always like to hear from you. If this is the kind of thing you like, click subscribe, come and join us, help the channel grow. If you want to be a member, there's an option there too for you. We'll be back with loads of content soon. I know it's an international break. We'll try and bring you a little bit of something. And then as soon as Newcastle come back, we'll be ready to go with previews and post-match analysis as well. Have a cracking day wherever you are, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Cheers.